Hi everyone. I have thread and bobbins that were kind of a mess and were all over the place. I'm not a sewer that sews on a regular basis. Actually, I sew only when I really have to mend something or to take something in. But I wanted to find something that would keep my bobbins connected to my spools of thread and do it in a better way than what I had been. Many years ago, I bought these bobbin minders, and those are the little plastic cases that you snap on top of your thread, and they worked pretty good to hold my bobbins in there. There wasn't much of a problem, but still I had thread kind of strewn all over the place. It was not keeping the thread connected to the bobbin, and the thread would just unravel, and I had thread all tangling. So I wanted something a little bit better. So while I was looking online, somebody had mentioned using tubing. Now I went to the store and bought to the hardware store, and they said to make sure to get the end so that it looked like it was the approximate size that you would need to go around your thread. And this cost me about 59 cents, I think it was, for 1 foot. It's not that difficult to cut. You could actually cut it with regular scissors, even though the tube is pretty solid. I guesstimated about how big to put it. I cut a piece off. I cut one slit in it, and then I used that to go around my bobbins. Let me take this one off. And then I stuck that around. Now, you will notice it doesn't hold the shape that great, and honestly, once you cut it, it's not that strong. It's not, once you cut it, it's actually pretty loose, but it still holds on. It holds the thread. And the one person who recommended it, the reason they liked it was because you could still see the colors really well through the bobbin. So it's in a pinch, if that's what you are open to, it works really well. I had found online these bobbin buddies. They are, they come in these little 4-pack snippet things. And if you notice, there's a little notch right there. They cut off pretty easily. I kind of wondered if it would be difficult. Honestly, it's not. They snip right off. And then what you do is you push it onto your thread. I separated a tiny bit. Push it onto the thread. And as you see, even if it's a full spool of thread, it holds on there. And then in order to get that tail in, you just go around, make sure that the thread's kind of centered a little bit, and it will catch it in there, and you have your thread all in there. It works out really pretty well. Then what I found online also was these handy bobs. And I'm going to be showing you the names of all of these as we move along here. Let me see if I could find this one. The handy bobs, what I thought was interesting about them is that they will also fit onto these little thin spools. What I did find is they don't fit so well on these. You have to have a spool where this little notch on the bottom is going to be able to fit into the hole. And on these spools, it's just too big. Even on the other end, too big. It won't fit in these. So on these size spools, doesn't work so great. But on just about anything else, it does. So what I did is I took the little notch, stuck it in the hole, pushed it in, took my bobbin that has my little bobbin buddies on them, and what's great about this notch is not blocked. It goes right in, no problem. Fits right in there. These will not pop off if you have them in your sewing case, thinking, oh gee, are they going to fall off? They don't fall off. They're pretty secure there. They will pull out. If I want that out of there, it will pull out. You got to jockey it a little bit, but it pulls right out. So those are great. Very happy with that. Very happy with the bobbin buddies. And the other option was, these are called clips, bobbin clips. So I'm going to show you how to do that. These bobbin clips will fit in just about anything because they expand. So you could put them in anything. Also, I want to mention before I forget, these bobbin clips, when you stick them in, let me pull it out of this one to show you. They pull out. They go in, no problem. You squeeze them together, push it in, they snap in, push them into your spool of thread, and take a look. They don't even come out the other side. Very nice. What I like about the bobbin clips is because I had bobbins all over the place, they weren't secure with anything, I ended up with 2 bobbins with the exact same color thread. And as you can see, I didn't wind them very well because they're all sticking out. So if you end up with 2 of the same color, no problem with this bobbin clip. You squeeze the bobbin clip into, it snaps right in. There's my other one. One more in there. And they both fit in there. So now I actually can keep them both together and use one of them up. I don't sew on a regular basis, and you probably could tell that by my mess. But I'm trying to get reorganized again and get things back in order so that I don't have things in 50 different places. Getting the threads to hold onto the spool. I've seen a few different options for that. I obviously try to find that little notch where they belong. If I can't find the notch, I am fine to loosen up the label and stick it underneath the label. Yes, you can see this thread is a little old. It's from Woolworths. It's almost gone. I used to love Woolworths. They had everything there. I still have some dishes from Woolworths. My mom and I used to go and sit at the counter and get a BLT sandwich, and a sundae, you had to pop the balloons, and that would tell you how much your sundae was. But at any rate, I still have some Woolworths thread left. Here's a couple more ideas for what to do with the thread that's loose on the spool. You could take a little piece of the paper where that notch is and pull that back so you'll know where that notch is when you're looking for it. I also suggest that when you see where that notch is originally, I don't know if I can get it clear enough here, at that time make a pen mark or a magic marker spot so you're going to remember where that notch is when you're looking for it. Just 2 more ideas to maybe help you. Now there are other ones out there that I did not show you. In fact, if you are really on a budget, you could use rubber bands. 2 different ways to use the rubber bands. Just one note of caution. If you do use rubber bands, they tend to dry rot after a while. So if you use them on a regular basis and will be changing the rubber bands periodically, then they're great. If they're going to be in your sewing kit for a long period of time, they may not hold up real well. So just one word of caution on that. I've seen people use netting, painter's tape, masking tape, and I've heard people even use rubber hair ties, the little rubber bands that have some kind of netting around them. They use those. Something else that people have mentioned for holding on to their thread are the peels. Those are out there also. Some other options out there are the bobbini. The reason I didn't get that was not because it's not good. I'm sure it's wonderful. I just was so impressed that you could actually put 2 on this that I thought I'm going to go with that one. But they look great, no problem. I've seen the tulips bobbin clamps. I've seen all kinds of bobbin holders. There's all kinds out there. So these are some ideas. I am not being paid by any companies. I just wanted to give you some ideas, and I hope this has been helpful to you. Have a good day.